let us now move on to the fourth sutra of Patanjali Yoga Sutra in the first chapter known as Samadhi Pada. This video is being recorded at Akshara Yoga School, where we conduct regular yoga teacher training courses. So the sutra number 4 is vritti sarupyam itaratra, which means at other times or in other times the practitioner is identified with the thought waves or mental modifications. So vritti sarupyam itaratra. Itaratra means in the other times, at the other times. Vritti sarupya means identified with the vrittis. Sarupa. Sarupa means similar, same form as that of vritti. The original self, as we have seen in the previous sutra, is the Swarupa. The practitioner taking the path of yoga, following the eightfold steps of yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana and samadhi. Finally, he established himself in his own self known as Swarupa. Swa means one's own, rupa form, one's original form, one's own self. But that is only when the practitioner transcended the limitations of body and mind. In other times, now Patanjali is saying that happens only in the stage of yoga, when you transcend the limitations of body and mind. At other times means in this normal waking state of consciousness, in this state where I am speaking to you, at this point of time when you are listening to this video, or when we do our normal day-to-day activity, we are identified with the vrittis that are emerging inside the mind. When we are sad, we say, I am sad. When we are happy, we say, I am happy. Only because at that particular time, the vritti of sadness or happiness is there inside the chitta. So when the chitta is absolutely clear, just like a crystal, there is a transparent pure crystal. If you place a red color cloth in front of it or under it, the crystal will appear as red. But when you remove that red color cloth, that crystal will gain its original form, its original nature, as absolutely transparent, with nothing inside it. So when the practitioner takes the path of yoga, removes all the chitta vrittis or mental modifications from the chitta, then what is there? What he sees? He sees his own self, absolutely still, absolutely stable. He sees himself as a seer. In the previous sutra we talked about it. Tada drashtuhu swarupe avasthanam. He sees himself as just a seer, not some holy man, some pious man, some renowned figure, not in any form or status or achievement. Just as a seer, he sees himself. He sees himself the reflection of his true self in the chitta, because chitta has nothing in it. And when he sees his original self, he establishes himself in his original self and not in the chitta. And now chitta is completely useless. And when the chitta is completely useless, chitta is dissolved into its constituent parts, that is Prakriti, which is made up of Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. Chitta disintegrates or merges back into its source. Because chitta is ultimately matter. Matter emerges from the source and goes back into it. Similarly, chitta is also dissolved and the seer liberates himself. In other times, when we are not in this state of yoga, we identify ourselves with the chitta vrittis that are emerging constantly. Right now I am speaking, so my identity right now is that of a speaker. You are listening, so your identity is that of a listener, because that is the vritti of listening is emerging inside you. And right now the vritti of speaking is emerging inside me. That's how it happens inside us. This is how the mind chitta works. Whatever we see, whatever we hear, whatever we think, chitta assumes that shape, and we identify ourselves with that form, with that shape known as vritti or mental modifications. And accordingly we may move up and down in our life. This is the graph. But when you are established in the yoga, when all the chitta vrittis have been completely removed, nirodha state, this is the line. You are completely stable, because no chitta vrittis are emerging inside you. Or even if they are emerging, you are just a witness to it. You are not involved into it. They emerge, they pass away. Again they emerge, they pass away. You are totally established in your own self or Swarupa.